Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Albion. And when last we left off, we were exploring Beloveno, the harbour city, and we're going to preemptively pass over this pistol and cartridges to Tom, because we're going to be making an interesting purchase here, in the mixed goods store. Hello, random person here. I believe I was here before you. Please be so kind and step behind me. Alright then, we'll do that. If you stop moving, I'd be able to do that. I don't actually think you're going to mind if I go and talk to the merchant here. Let's go and say hello. This is Riolea, an interesting merchant compared to the ones we've seen before. Schema Din. You're sure to find that I have everything your heart desires. From torches to healing potions, I can offer you everything. You can't buy things like this anywhere else in Beloveno. Do you happen to know where the Toronto is? That's what we desire to know. No. So you're lying then, you can't offer everything. Look, I'm just a merchant and that's my sales pitch, alright? Alright, fine. Riolea has two different windows here, but the caveat is that while the sell window is much less occupied, by the way, we want those potions, that is quite a bargain. We will buy those. We want those, but while this window is a lot less occupied, you actually get less money for selling in the sell window rather than selling in the buy window. And there are a few nice things here. For a start, there are some rings that we can get, and rings always confer that little bit more protection stat. There is one here for Malthus, there are two here for Syrah, and there are two left over. There are enough rings in the game for a ring for everyone, because we will be getting a sixth companion, and we'll want to get some rings for that companion. However, there's also something else that is interesting, and that is that there are bolts here for purchase, and bolts are a really good ranged weapon. We've been holding on to that mini bolt thrower for quite a while, and it has 10 attack. But what it also has is the ability to improve the person who's using it, their range skill, substantially. So it is finally time to get rid of these arrows. These arrows are in fact now quite worthless to us, so we'll sell those. We'll sell these, and we'll sell this here, this one arrow, and we'll sell this bow. There we go. We also want to sell this mini bolt thrower here for 133, and pass over these 39 bolts in a little bit. In fact, we'll do that now before we do anything else. You can have these bolts. The bolts are certainly heavier. They are 80 grams a bolt. So there we go, Raina can have them. And do we want these long arrows? We'll just get rid of them, because there's no real reason to hold on to them. There we go, goodbye, arrows. And we'll say hello once again. Hello. We would like to indeed buy something. We would like to buy this bolt thrower here. It is 620 coins, but it is worth every single one of them. And we would also, you'll notice that there are two piles of bolts here. That is curious. We would like to buy, let's see, 111 bolts. That will cost us 277.5 coins, and that's fine. The carry capacity has gone up substantially there. If we got another, say, we could get a fair few more, but we don't need more right now. We'll just equip that in a moment, and I'll show you just what happens. As you can see, Raina's long-range skill is currently 37 out of 40. We equip the bolt thrower, and it goes up to 52 out of 40, which is really, really good. There we go. Now Raina is ready for some nasty long-range combat capability. And that has also reduced the carry capacity in general, or rather the amount of weight carried by everyone. What else do you have? You have a little bit of everything. You have an unlimited supply of green healing potions, which is nice, and curiously, knives. Well, I suppose you said that you sold absolutely everything. We can also sell these jewels here, which is quite good. We'll sell these ones that we have of that type. We have a lot of jewels. Any more? We don't have any more of that one. We do have this, though, that we might as well get rid of in the sell window, just to show how much less we get for it. We only get 4.3 here, which is less than what we've normally been getting. But what is your profession, Riolia? I'm a merchant. What do you know about Beloveno? This is a long conversation topic. Do you like Beloveno? The city is very old, has a lot of tradition, and trade flourishes in the great harbour. There's a nice tavern, a healer, many shops, and a council house. A very beautiful building which all the citizens of Beloveno are particularly fond of. North of the city, we have a little park. If you would like to rest, the park is a nice place. There is also an inn nearby. You already know where the city gate is. Now that is curious that Riolia presumes that we came from the city gates, when they're a harbour city. Maybe they don't get a lot of passengers from the harbour, which would be curious considering they're apparently famous for being a harbour city. If you would like to continue your journey, look for the mountain pass. There's a lot to talk about. Let's start talking about it. The city gate is north, directly beside the small guardhouse. There used to be 3 city gates. Back then, you could also leave Beloveno in the west and east. You will find the relics of small guardhouses there. Alright. What about the healer? Our healer is called Romina. We've already heard about that one. What about the shops? We are always glad when visitors use hard currency to make purchases in our shops. You will find an extensive range of goods here. There's a weapons and an armor merchant, a food seller, and a mixed goods shop. There is not a jeweler. I thought that, there's a jeweler later in the game, I think. In a different area. Romina, our healer, also offers her services. You will find most of the shops around the marketplace. We might want to sell these jewels off anyway. And what do you know about being sick? Many years ago, a lot of people in the city came down with several attacks of a mysterious disease. In some cases, the disease even caused death. Fortunately, I don't think anyone suffers from this disease anymore. Well, that's fortunate. What about the inn? It is right near the city park. It's near the tavern. And let's talk about the tavern. Haven't you been there yet? It's called the Open Tap and is in the same building as the inn. If you want to spend the night, you are right there. There is always something going on at the tap, and it serves the best sugo. What is sugo? Sugo is our favourite drink. You must try it, but I must warn you that sugo is a fermented fruit juice with a highly stimulating effect. Anyone who is not familiar with sugo should drink it with caution. You would not be the first strangers who weren't able to carry on a conversation after just 2 glasses. Sounds like pretty strong stuff. What about currency? Gold pieces are the mean of payment in Beloveno. Of course, some people are willing to make deals with other types of currency, but I don't really know about that. Ha ha ha. I think you do. I'm gonna talk about other currency? Nope, you don't understand that. What about other? Nope. I think you know about other types of currency. Maybe the reason why you can get all of these goods is that your goods are not completely legitimately acquired. But that is all just suspicion. Let's talk about the market square. You will find our marketplace in the middle, directly beside our council house. If you're lucky, the market will be open. Well, you're open. What about the harbour? The harbour of Beloveno is in the south. You can't miss it if you go south. She's not wrong. Sometimes you can see the tips of mast from the many ships that are anchored here from far away. Let's talk about the ships. Most of the ships transport goods to and from Beloveno. Actually, there aren't many passenger ships. If you're looking for transportation, you're better off trying to go by land. Well, I suppose the justification about her presuming we came by land is now validated. I mean the way over the mountain pass. Thanks for clarifying. That is correct. There is a pass over the mountain range which connects the north side and south side of our continent. It is very narrow, barely recognizable path, because it's rarely used. It goes past Kunos and then continues north to, right, I'm going to get this word right, the Srimalanar. There we go, Srimalanar. Why do the Iskai come up with complicated names? I've no idea. I have never been there and therefore can give you no information about it. We'll see about that. Oh look, you have information about it. Srimalanar is a beautiful little Iskai village. It lies to the north of Beloveno, to the other side of the mountain. Just like the inhabitants of Kurnos, religion plays an important role in the lives of the people of Srimalanar. There is a shrine which they visit regularly near their city. There is also a magician's guild. The Magician's Guild is the important part. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. What about the shrine? That is a vault near the village of Srimalanar. I wish you'd stop saying that word, Riolia. Be warned that it is best not to go in there, since there is a taboo which forbids strangers from entering the shrine and the area around it. The inhabitants of Srimalanar get very upset when anyone violates this taboo. I don't blame them. Oh, there's lots of stuff to talk about. The closest magic guild is in Srimalanar. She's just taunting me now, I'm sure of it. Let's talk about this taboo. The taboo refers to the shrine of Srimalanar. The Iskai in this village take this old taboo very seriously. There's a lot still to talk about. If you're looking for people with strong magic capabilities, then go to Kontos in Kunos, or look in Srimalanar. Well, let's talk about Kunos, actually. Kunos is a little village where people still have a traditional lifestyle. The path to Kunos is arduous and difficult to describe, since the village lies on the mountain plateau. Just try to find the rock walls on which large climbing plants grow. With a little exertion, you can climb up into the plateau. Kunos is pretty far up, but if you really look for it, you will find it. She's not wrong. Let's talk about the mountain pass. We've already talked about that. Let's talk about the town hall. We have a very large council house where we hold all our meetings. All important matters are straightened out there, and on official occasions the entire city gathers there. During the day, you will find the Council of the Just in the council house. The council house is the largest building in Beloveno, and you can't miss it. We can't miss most things, apparently. You will find it in the west. Alright. Wow, there's a lot of stuff now to talk about. The southern side. Everything south of the Great Mountain Range is the south side. It includes Beloveno and the harbour. Have you already been to the north side? No! That is the part north of the Great Mountain Range. That's where Srimalanar is. You can get over there by the mountain pass. And what about the council? The Council of Just governs our city. It consists of 3 council members and the council president. Heras Kikoskia, I think I'll say there. If you have a request, you can find him in the council house during the day. That's quite a name. Let's talk about Perrin. Perrin, Guard, and Rico are the members of the Council of the Just. Their president is Heras. Let's talk about the Council of the Just. Yep, you've already said that. I think we've gone through all the conversation topics we can, and there's one more thing we need to do, and that is pretty much to sell a lot of gems, because we don't need these right now. I know we're not getting a good deal for them, and we are going to hold on to a few of them, because there's actually a good reason to do so. There's a very good reason to hold on to gems. But we want to make a little bit of money. Just a little. We'll hold on to, you'll hold on to 1 gem, and you'll hold on to 1 gem. Some of these are worth more than others. That's not bad. What about this one? That's not worth much at all. And this one is worth not much at all either. It makes a little bit of money for us, which is okay. What else do we want to sell here? Oh, we have 1 gem there too. We'll sell that. They can stockpile them, but we can't, which is unfortunate. Okay, what else do we want to do? We've cleared up a fair bit of space here, and all these items here we're holding on to just in case we get one companion over another. But I think we're good here for now. Farewell. Let's now go over very quickly to the south, where we can go and talk to the Weaponsmith. There's a lot of stuff here, and as you can see, a lot of things to buy. Hello. Some of the clothing you're wearing is really strange. And you're only the first person to mention this. Scheme it in, strangers. You've made a good choice with this store. The weapons are of better quality than those you can buy in the general store. That's probably true. Hello. I watch the great stuff people buy here. Well, as long as you enjoy it. Can we take this axe if we're careful? There we go. Ours. And we're going to go see what you actually have to sell now. Hello. Welcome to, I'm gonna call you Posh, because that's the best word I can come to describe that name. Welcome to Posh's Weapon Shop. You'll find the best quality and fair prices. Some of the weapons even come directly from the metal makers. They produce the best swords. The goods you see in that display have come from far away. We even get items from over the mountain pass. As you can see, I have an extensive and up-to-date supply. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. He repairs things, which is good, but what's your profession? It is my job to produce and sell weapons. This is how I earn a living for my family. We can't talk about your family, I imagine. Nope. And we can also talk about the metal makers. metal makers live on the eastern continent and have a monopoly on metal production. Perhaps you will run into them on your journey. Hint, hint. And everything else is just a repeat. What items do you have? You have a lot of good stuff. You also have poison bolts. Poison bolts, I think, do a little more damage. Yeah, they do a fair bit more damage and cost a lot more. Also, there is a Luke's dagger. Yep, if you thought that item was good, we did basically save a fair amount of money getting it, but you can get more of them. However, Danu's Light here is a bigger and better version of it. 14 damage and 5 protection, and I think there's a few other things beside that, but there's really not much else to talk about here, except the fact that we have this axe that, curiously enough, is not sold. Also, only one character can use that weapon. And I think only one character can use that weapon too, but we can finally sell the big battle axe. We could sell that for 325, and that's actually a pretty good deal. We could also buy decorative swords and all manner of things, and long swords. Finally, long swords are available. I don't remember how good they are. Probably better than what we have, though. We'll keep everything that you have in mind. For now, we're just going to keep exploring a bit more. Seems like a good idea. It is getting late, though. Alright, over here I think is the Tavern, which is a good idea. Visiting a tavern is probably a sound plan. There are other buildings here that we could go to. We'll just have a quick look around and just fill out the map a bit. I don't think we can do anything in particular with that building. No, those doors are shut. So we have to go this way and head over to the other side, which has the inn itself, the open tap. Let's go in. The group has just entered the Open Path Inn. Are you sure it's called that? It is stuffy and warm in the tavern. The lively chatter of the numerous guests makes normal conversation almost impossible. Tom was already caught in the hustle and bustle. I believe the bar is inside. Tom appears to want to have a drink. Let's go say hello to everyone, shall we? Hello. I advise you to take torches and a rope with you when you visit any of the caves in the Great Mountains. I got lost there once. Well, at least you were going out and exploring the world. How time passes. When I was young as you are, I was able to enjoy life in an entirely different way. Old age does have its advantages, but you haven't learned that yet. Let's go say hello to you as well. You must talk to Karaya from time to time. Because of her profession, she has lots of crazy stories to tell. You can generally find her in her home. They keep talking about her, and that's because she's very important. Bah, what kind of conceited characters are you? You probably think you can impress me, huh? Well, you're wrong. I only let myself be impressed by extraordinary people like Thunag, when he shows me one of his spectacular magic tricks. Have you met him yet? A funny guy. I think he's a rebellious druid of the Kenga Kamulos, but it's hard to figure him out. He lives with Karaya. He's also pretty important. Hello, you. I am Gato Mork, keeper of the Holy Law, and I order you to spend 1,000 gold coins to a good purpose, or I will rip your hide with my knife. Seriously, right now I'm reading a book about the famous Gato Mork, who supports the poor and keeps an eye on the rich. He always used his life for justice. He was a great man. Very similar to one of our own myths, that one. Snacks and cold meals are prepared here. And we just walked in because we apparently are very nosy and like to pry into everyone's business. Hello, you. I can hardly stand it in here. The air is just horrible. It stinks, it's hot, and it's so loud that you have to shout in order to be heard. If my boyfriend didn't always drag me into places like this, it would be so much better for my lungs. But he also likes to go to bars like this, and I simply love him. Let's talk to you, shall we? Hello. I have to go eat now. Just let me through. You're not from here, right? More and more strangers are wandering around here, but don't take it personally. It just strikes me as odd. Ah, more people, including you, who's just standing here. You're drunk. Sim din, strangers. I am Orno, and I'm glad to meet you. Well, how'd you like our Thugo? Thema Skina Din. Thank you for asking. We appreciate a good drink. Normally it takes a long time to acquire taste for it, eh? Well, I believe you. Hello there, you don't drown in your sorrow with it. What is your profession? I catch wild animals in the woods, slaughter them, and then sell the meat. Though I guess you could call me a hunter, but a salesman? Yeah? You're a hunter. I enjoy my profession, thank you. And let's talk about your sorrow. Well, what would you say if you couldn't trust the most important people in the city? Could you be more specific? Well, the Council of the Just would be for the people. For the second time now I've had a quarrel with my neighbor. It was over real estate, and we were quarreling about ownership. Right councils would make a just decision in something like this, but in both cases, there we go, but in both cases, the judgment was made which wasn't favourable for me or my neighbour. The council simply confiscated the property, see? I don't understand it. Something isn't right in that council. Piece of land. That doesn't have anything to do with it. I only mentioned it as an example, see? Well, it's been nice talking to you. Farewell! And then he vomited everywhere, and it was unfortunate. Let's talk to you. Schemed in. I don't know you. Are you on a visit here? Yes, we are on a long journey. Then in any case, I wish you all the best and much luck on your journey. Do you know the major travel routes from Beloveno? What is your profession? Oh, I manage the food business here in the city. Let's talk about the travel routes. You haven't been here very long, have you? I'd travel to Kurnas if I were you. On the one hand, there are many interesting people there. On the other hand, it is on the way to Srimalana, and I'm sure the people there can give you advice and other support. Kurnas is a small village on the plateau of the mountain range. The trip there is not very easy, but you don't look as if you can give up quickly. And there's not much more to say. Look for the old pass, even though the pass road doesn't really exist anymore. Alright. And, oh, here we go. Here's something new. People always talk about a pass road which leads to Kurnos, but that's really an old story. There really was a pass road at one time, but we really don't travel to Kurnos or Srimalana too often. Moreover, there was a constant conflict about who should maintain the road. There was never an agreement, so no one took care of the pass. Meanwhile, the pass became so wild and overgrown that no one can find it anymore. Nevertheless, if you can climb, you can find the way. Look for climbing plants which overgrow the rock walls and climb up from the plateau in the north. Alright, thank you for the advice. And that is a repeat. Thank you. Farewell. Is there anyone else that we can talk to? I don't think there is. I think that's it. And we can't make our way through there for some reason. We're just going to have to work our way around. I think that is the... Ah! Here is a door. And there is no one interesting in this door whatsoever. Are we going to go and open this one? Yeah, I think that is the same door. There is no reason to open that. No reason to open that whatsoever. It's also pretty late. We could actually do with resting. We might go and do that. And that involves going this way. It is very dark. And I doubt anywhere of any particular interest will be open. There are a few doors that we have not yet been in. A few doors indeed. We'll go and rest, shall we? Seems like a plan. There we go. We'll buy a room for the night. How much is it? Oh, that's quite reasonable. Very reasonable. And we'll rest until dawn. There we go. And when we come back, folks, we shall continue exploring Beloveno. It's a big city, but once we've explored everything once, we don't need to explore it again. So I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.